Hello, good morning. My name's Sherry, and I'm a mess. I just got off work, and I made a video yesterday. And if you didn't see it or anything, um, I I'm gonna start making videos every day regarding grief, and I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. One, I'm doing it for myself. I'm basically telling my grief journey, and I'm telling things that I have learned, things that have helped me, things that haven't, things that have upset me, all of these things. And then, but I want to first say I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a counselor. I'm not anything like that. This is just my personal journey, okay? If you feel that you need help from a medical professional, please seek help. They are there to help you, okay? So, I'm going to go ahead and start and tell you my journey and what all has happened. This all started last year. My husband passed away September the 20th of 24. And that is when my whole world changed. And anybody going through grief knows what I'm talking about. Your world just literally stops on that day. It's like the whole world, everything's continuing, but you're stopped. You're there. You're not, I can remember going into the grocery store and watching people, go around getting their groceries and everything. And I'm sitting there going through the grocery store, and I'm devastated. My heart's breaking. And I remember thinking, everybody is just moving so fast. Nobody is slowing down. Nobody knows the pain that I am in, nor did anybody in there care. But it just, your world stops in that moment. And for quite a while after. So, anyway, like I said, my journey started last year, and losing my husband was not my first experience with grief. Um, Prior to that, I had lost my dad, my mom, and then my brother. So, I knew what grief was, but this was something totally different when I lost my husband. And I think a big part of that, he was always there. When I lost, when I, I'm trying to fix the light because I just noticed that there's a light in my eye. Anyway, he was always there for me. When I lost, I'm sorry, I'm still messing with I may move. There, that's better. That's better. Okay. Anyway, he was always there for me. I lost my mom and my dad, and I took care of my mom for 2 years. But when I lost my family members, he was there. He was I was never alone. He was completely there for me 100%. And I'm sorry, that's my cat. And anyway, um, but when I lost him, I was all alone. The loneliness will eat you up. It will absolutely devour you. And so back to my journey and what exactly, happened. Um, so I knew it was different when he passed. I knew the feelings was different. And I had a very good dear friend, Kim, who I couldn't have got through a lot of it without her. Um, but what basically one thing I wanted to bring up is when there's, okay, when you're going through the funeral, when you're going through all of that, when you're going through getting it, making the preparations for the funeral, when you're um, even when you're going through, actually being at a funeral and everything, it's very raw emotion at that time. But there seems to be lots of people around. And, the whole week prior to the funeral and then after the funeral, I got so many phone calls, people calling and checking on me. And, always, and talking, people would call and talk to me. And which was very, it was great. It was great. I mean, I didn't always want to talk, but it helped me to talk. But what people don't realize, they go on with their life, after 4 weeks, that ends. You don't get the daily phone calls anymore. You don't get people calling and checking on you anymore. And then you're all alone. Then you have to deal with the loneliness. And that honestly was, for me, the worst part. The absolute worst part was that loneliness. It will eat you alive. And, when my husband first died, I was on leave of absence from work because he had been ill, and he'd been in the hospital and things like that. So when he died, I was on leave of absence. So that part was good because I wasn't working. Then I finally realized, it'll do me good to go back to work, which was very hard. It's very, very, very hard to go to work and act like everything's okay when you're dying inside. And so I went back to work, but the loneliness, it was so horrible because I would come home. I work nights. I'd come home in the morning to an empty house, go to bed in an empty bed. And those are things, unfortunately, that we have to do. But I'm going to stop right there and just say one of my big things that I'm really passionate about. And that is, it is okay to not be okay. We put so much pressure on ourselves to just always be okay, everything's okay, I'm fine. It's absolutely okay to cry. I will say not to stay there, have a day of crying, have hours of crying, whatever, but try to get up, try to not stay in that depressed state. Something also that I wanted to say, grief never ends. It never ends. I hate to be the one to tell you that if you didn't know that, but it never ends. It changes. It absolutely changes as time goes on. You do learn to live with it a lot better, but it's always there. And what I said in my last video, and if you didn't watch it, I will repeat some of that. There are things that you should never say to someone that's grieving. One thing is you need to let them go. You need to get over it. You need to just move on. No. You don't say that. You don't say those things. Somebody who's grieving their loved one doesn't want to hear that they need to move on and they need to get over it. And get over them what? Get over it. How do you get over someone you've lost. They're always going to be in your heart. And the a big, 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 big thing that you never do to someone who's lost their spouse, a widow, widower, either way, you do not automatically assume that that person is ready to start dating again. You don't do that. Don't assume that they want to date. They may not ever want to date again. And just leave that part alone. It is not up to you to decide their love life. They might date again, they might not, but it's up to them. And so don't ever just assume that somebody's wanting to date again. And don't make comments that, oh, you need to go get a boyfriend. That would make you feel better. No, 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 no. You don't do that. That is very disrespectful. So that was some of the don'ts. But back to my journey. It's a journey. Every day is a journey. But like I said, grief never stops. It's always going to be there in some shape or form. What I was saying as far as the loneliness, now I want to say some of the things that helped me. I was feeling very lonely. The loneliness was just eating me up, and I didn't know what to do about it. I would very emotional, and somebody suggested Grief Share, which, if you don't know what Grief Share is an organization that's nationwide. It's a 12-week course. It's run at churches. Churches handle that. Well, and it, most of them are in-person courses. You go to the church and you meet every other person that's there, that's lost somebody, and for 12 weeks. Well, they also offer some that are completely online, and you do it through a Zoom room. That is what I did. And I will tell you, it didn't really help me. And I look back now, and I think it may be the fact that it was the Zoom room, and that I was not actually making connections with these people that were going through something very similar to me. I was still basically hiding out in my house. So I'm not saying Grief Share, anything's wrong with Grief Share. It might help you. If it helps you, wonderful. I'm just saying, it didn't really help me, but I do think that's the reason why. Now I will tell you what did help me. And before I tell you this, I'm going to tell you, I know there are a lot of people out there who are going to slam me on this, and who are going to say, oh, no, we don't do that. That's bad. Don't do that. And who don't believe in it. But I absolutely do believe in it, and it helped me tremendously. So what I did, I saw a medium, and I had so much guilt. Oh my Lord, I had guilt. And the guilt came from, my husband was in the hospital, and the doctors told me that he couldn't come home, that he needed to go to rehab, he needed to get stronger. And I will always wish that they just sent him home. I wish they had sent him home on hospice, but they did not do that. They sent him to a rehab facility, and He hated it. I'm going to try to say this without getting too upset. He hated it. He cried. He felt like I was sending him there to die, which I was not. But he was scared. And he was only there. He was only there one night. And he died the next day. So it always, the guilt from sending him there was really, really hard for me. And I kept thinking that he died mad at me. He died angry, I had all these awful, awful thoughts. Well, I did reach out to a medium, and in saying that, like I said, I know not everybody believes in that. I am not here promoting that. I'm just telling you what worked for me. If anybody is interested in that, you can send me a message and I will let you know. I will let you know the company that I used. They're very, very reputable. It's not scams. And they're very, very, very good mediums that they use. I will let you know. I will answer any questions you have about it, but just do that privately. This video is not about promoting any business, because that's not what I'm doing. But I just want to tell you my journey, and my journey was I did seek out this medium, and like I said, I had all this guilt. Well, my husband did come through, and the first time I had a session with the medium, he did come through, and she did give me evidential proof that it was him. And one thing that he said was what I needed to hear. He told me, and I didn't want to cry in this video. Sometimes it just comes. That's part of grief. It just comes. But he told me that I need to let go of the guilt. I need to let go of the guilt. He said I had nothing to feel guilty about, that I took excellent care of him, and he knows it. So that was what I needed to hear. I needed to hear that. And again, you may not believe in that. You may think that it wasn't, that message wasn't from him. But I believe it was, and I also believe in signs. I believe we all get signs, and I've had many, but as far as the grief journey, that was part of my journey. Then the next positive thing was I knew that I wanted to take a vacation. And me and my husband always went to the same place. He loved the Ozark Mountains. We always went to the Ozarks. Well, I was just at home one night, and I said, I was just talking out loud, and I was like, I'm going to take a vacation by myself. I'm just going to go somewhere by myself. And I didn't even know where. I had a dream that night. In the dream, my husband told me that, no, you're not going to take a vacation by yourself. He said, I need to take a vacation on a bus with a group of people taking a vacation that way. I woke up not knowing what in the world he was talking about. I looked it up online, and I did find, and I will say this, it's Diamond Tours, and they do tours all over the country for 55 and over, age 55 and over, and they go all over the place, and I never traveled like that, never thought about traveling like that, and the first one I did, my best friend went with me because she was worried about me going by myself. Well, we went to Mount Rushmore, and I had a wonderful time. Now, that being said, I also, these crazy feelings pop up, and I started having so much fun, and then that darn guilt. I started feeling guilty because I was having fun, and I started feeling like I should not be having fun, that I should be off in a corner somewhere crying. And that's when I learned on that trip that it was okay to have fun. It's okay to smile. It's okay. And it's okay to cry too. It's okay. As far as that trip, that taught me just that it's okay to have fun. It's okay. Since then, I've gone on another one. I went to Colorado. And so now my goal is I'm going places that I've never been before. And in March, I'm going to North Carolina. And then in June, I'm going to go to Niagara Falls. So I'm traveling around. But another topic I want to bring up is the people, like I already said, grief never ends. There are people out there that at the year mark, they will start treating you like it's all, you've gone through grief, it's over with now, and, you should be good. Well, that is not true, that grief ends. And there's no time limit on grief. Some people will get through it differently than others. And I think it's what I've found, what I feel, is the greater the love that you had for the person that passed, the deeper the grief will be. And, and in my case, I was with my husband for 36 years. He's my soulmate. So when he died, it was like half of me was gone. I have to reinvent myself. I had to find out things that I'm capable of doing that I did not know that I was capable of doing. My water heater, the heating element went out in my water heater. I fixed it. My central heat and air, the ductwork underneath the house was not working. I crawled under the house and fixed it. You don't know what you can do. And part of that, though, this is another part of grief, at least it is for me. I don't ask for help. I will do things by myself. I just don't ask for help. But unfortunately, in my situation, I don't have a lot of people to ask for help. I have one really good friend, and I have a lot of co-workers, but I wouldn't call them friends. I mean, they're my co-workers. We talk at work, but we don't talk outside of work. And then I have 2 stepsons, and I have 4 grandchildren. Now, my stepsons, they're busy. They have their own life. And I try to see my grandchildren as much as I can, but, it it's not as much as I would like. But the point in saying all that is I just really don't have a lot of help. So that goes back to the thing of feeling alone and feeling, so I'm gonna end this. I know this video is getting really long. I will say this though. For myself, there's been many, many times that I felt like I was going crazy, that I just was losing my mind. I'm here to tell you right now, if you feel that way, if you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind, I'm crazy, you're not crazy. You may get signs from your loved one. You may hear things. You may see things out of the corner of your eye. They're trying to send you messages. They're just open your heart, open your ear, listen. And again, this is things that you may not believe in. I'm just telling you what I believe. They're there, and it is absolutely 100% okay to talk to them. Talk to your loved one. I talk to my husband every single day. Every day I talk to him. And, and sometimes I talk to him without actually speaking. It's just in my mind. But I feel this is another thing I say, that I have several sayings that I say all the time. And I've said some of them already about, it's okay to not be okay. The other thing, love never dies. The love never, ever dies. It's still there. It's still strong. So with that, I'm going to end this video because it's a long video. I didn't mean for it to be that long. I just got off work and I'm fixing to get me some breakfast and go to bed. So I will make another video tomorrow. I'm going to start posting these every single day. And like I said, if anything resonates with you, if you want to comment, by all means comment. If you want to send me a message to ask me any questions, by all means do this. This is to help me and possibly help you too. And you have a blessed day.